Let's talk about it.
Do it. Aloha SUNSCRIBERS!
How's it going, guys?
Welcome to my channel. We have our son on FaceTime right now with my laptop, and Ayla is taking a nap right now. So this is the absolute perfect time to come and... Is my phone? Oh, I thought it was on 2%. We're gonna tell our side of the story of what happened that day, kind of like a behind the scenes, and what was going through our mind, and what we thought about certain things, and what we felt. So we're gonna give our perspective of what happened on August 23rd, 2017 for the birth of our son, La'a. My due date was August 19th. My due date came and it passed. And this is my second baby. So with my first child, I was 2 weeks overdue and I had to be induced. So this whole pregnancy, I've really been trying to like tell my body that I'm gonna go into labor naturally, and it's all gonna just happen naturally and good and awesome. August 19th came and left, and then 20 came and left, and then 21 came and left, and then 22 came and left, and still no baby. And every single night, like after August 19th, I was like taking baths and relaxing and prepping myself, and KANEOHE was giving me like foot massages, and we're trying to induce labor naturally. On August 20th, actually, I would say about 2 days before the 23rd, I was having minor cramps. So my whole pregnancy, I haven't like had like a period cramp in a long time, and I was having really minor cramps. August 23rd, when I had woke up, I remember waking up around 5 a.m. and it was a more stronger pain than those minor cramps. And I'm like, oh my god, like today's gonna be the day. Did you leave for work at this point yet?
Before you started having your cramps?
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, I think I
don't know. I think
I
left, but you were sleeping still when I left, and then
I was having them and you were sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I like would go back to sleep.
But you did call me around like 6 o'clock when I was still at the shop.
Right. That day I was actually supposed to take KANEOHE's sister to a doctor's appointment on the other side of this mountain that we live on. I had woke up to another cramp in my stomach around 6 a.m. and I'm like, something is weird. Like, I feel like today is the day. Something is weird. I called KANEOHE and I was like, babe, like,
I don't think I can take your sister. I don't even think I can drive because these cramps are just so painful, and I feel like the baby's coming today. I didn't think it was coming because she was just having all these cramps like
for 2
the past
days.
couple of days, and I was just like,
you were more irritated.
Yeah, I was like, do you want me to leave work? I didn't know what to do. Like,
yeah, he's like, is it so bad that you should leave work? And I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just having pains and today's the day. I told him that I can't go, can you call your sister? And he's like, oh my god, whatever, I'll call my sister.
Called her, let her know. She was kind of sad, bummed, because she didn't know
how she was gonna get
there.
And it was an important appointment, and I knew this, but I'm telling you guys, like, I knew that my baby was coming that day.
But she had somebody to take her, so she was alright.
Yeah.
Time goes on.
He's at work, so you don't really know what's happening with me.
Yeah.
But
we know
they started progressing.
We know that she had a doctor's appointment at 11, so
he was already gonna come
leave work, and then I was gonna leave work, go to the hospital, to her doctor's appointment, and then come back to work. That was the plan. And then she calls me at like 10 o'clock and she's like, did you leave yet? And I'm like, oh no, I thought it starts at 11:15. And she's like, no, you're gonna drive and you're probably not gonna go back to work. So I'm like, oh shoot.
You're like, are you serious? And I'm
so
like, you don't understand, like these cramps are picking up.
And I still didn't believe it. I still didn't believe it at the time that it was gonna be the day. I was like, no way.
Yeah, I know, and it's funny now to look back on it. It really was the day.
Yeah.
So I tell him that I can't even drive myself to this doctor's appointment. This doctor's appointment was just supposed to be like a checkup. Because I was almost in the 41-week mark, so they just wanted to like monitor the baby and do like a stress test. So I pretty much was like, no, like I need you to drive me, and we're bringing all the hospital bags and the car seat, and he's just like
rushing home. I'm rushing home on the freeway, just going like 80.
Because he was originally gonna meet me at the hospital, which is way closer than coming all the way to our house.
So I was like, I gotta go home
to get me.
So then I go, I'm speeding, I get home right in time, pack up the stuff, we leave, we go to the hospital.
In like minutes. And I'm like in the car like breathing, and I don't even think you knew that it was like progressed that much, because he's at work. Like, I don't want to try and bother him, and they weren't that bad, but I would literally need to close my eyes and breathe through them. But
right now.
I'm the same way when it comes time to my period. So when I have my period, it literally takes my breath away when I have cramps, and they come like in cycles, kind of just like that. The 2 days before this, those minor cramps that I was getting, it was super minor. Like I could be talking and one could be happening right now, but that day they were different. Like I would have to close my eyes and like breathe. He picks me up, we load everything up in a matter of 2 minutes, get in the car, get Ayla in the car, head to my doctor's. I get to my doctor's, they do the stress test. She was like, you are indeed having contractions. I'm like, duh, I know. But they were every 10 minutes. They wanted to be
at like 100 and she was at maybe like 60, 40.
I was 3 centimeters dilated and 30% effaced.
The scale though of the thing was only little contractions.
Right, but it was still showing movement, and they were more frequent. So they weren't like every 30 minutes or like an hour. They were every 10 minutes. I was getting them every 10 minutes. She swept my membrane, my doctor did, which is a very natural process.
She was rough.
She was rough on me, and then they started
her whole arm like.
I know, it was so painful. Like it was probably worse than childbirth of her stripping my membrane. It hurt, but it's a very natural process to try and like smooth the cervix out, to get the baby's head to push on the cervix, to have it open, and then that's when you start contracting and you go into active labor.
That's what triggered it.
To pick up more.
Yeah.
I was already at every 10 minutes. After she did that, I swear they were coming every 5 minutes. So she said, where do you guys live? And I'm like, we live in, and she was like, ooh, that's a little too far. Like this is your second labor. You want to come in like every 7 minutes. And it was like at 7 to 5 minutes. No joke. I had
she didn't want us to have she didn't want us to have the baby like on the run. On your second pregnancy, it's supposed to come out quicker.
It moves faster.
Because your body's used to it and stuff.
So she said, go eat lunch, go walk around,
come back.
And come back. And like, that was crazy to me. She thinks that I'm having this baby. But I knew that morning, and not only that, like my contractions were picking up. I was doing it all on my own, which is so crazy. Like I love to think about it. Natural. Because being induced sucks. So we got in the car, we drove to go pick up takeout. I waited in the car, I could not get out. They were coming every 7 minutes. I was breathing through them. I was like, we need to drop Ayla off. And luckily we had packed all of our bags, her bags.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, this is at 2 o'clock. She said to come back at 4 for sure. Well, like, I don't even know how she can.
They're saying the reason why was because they're cleaning out the rooms. And there was like over so much people. We could have went there right away, but there was just too much people, they said, and had to have time to move everybody.
But what's weird is the doctor didn't make it seem like I was going into labor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like she was just like, okay, we'll see you guys back, whatever. And then I'm like,
she was crazy.
I didn't understand. I'm like, I am like having like contractions every 10 minutes on my own. And then when I was like, well, I kind of want to have this baby today. Like I've been dealing with lots of pain. She was like, well then come back at 4. But it's like she already knew that I was gonna come back. She just didn't say anything. We all ate in the car. Well, they ate. I was like breathing. We went to KANEOHE's house. We dropped off Ayla, and Ayla was so fine. She was like, bye.
See you later.
She had a cousin there, so she was just so happy. She was fine, and that made me so happy. It's like I want to make sure she's comfortable.
After we're done eating, I'm sure you saw the video and you've seen that I had to go to the emergency room. That's when I noticed I had a huge inflammation in my neck. It was just like big as a freaking baseball, and I was so scared. I didn't want to die before my baby was born. Like I was just, everything was just running through my head.
I'm like breathing through contractions. He's icing it, saying my face,
I'm
and
like, we're about
like,
to have
bye.
a baby. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get this checked out. So I was like, we were getting there early, so I was just thinking in my head, I want to go to the ER, check it out.
Make sure it's safe. It's all good.
Yeah, because I didn't know if we were gonna have time after we have the baby and like whatnot. I didn't want to.
I
wanted to be alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember I was kind of irritated because I'm like in labor right now, and you're worried about like a swollen face. But now
it could have been like cancerous, could have been mumps,
but
that's
like he's thinking of the worst scenario. He's over there icing his face. I'm like irritated. I'm like, I'm in active labor. I can't deal with you. So we drop Ayla off. She says bye. We get into the car and we go to the hospital. And right now it's like probably 2:30 when we get to the hospital. My sister's like, I'm gonna have you walk. And I'm like, I do not want to walk. really just wanted to sit down in the AC, but she wanted me to get my labor going, which I'm so happy that I did. But when you're in labor, like you don't really, you're not thinking rational. So I was like, no, I don't want to walk. And Keiko was like, I'm going to the emergency room, and I'm just like, I need to be in my own zone. Keiko was in the emergency room. What happened when you went there?
I went there. Oh, I told them my girlfriend's in labor right now. How long is it gonna be? And they're like, sorry, we can't tell you how long. So I was like, okay, so what do you want me to do? And the lady's like, well, if she's in heavy labor right now, then you should just go back. And I was like, nah, I think she's just outside walking around and we have some time. So,
like,
I just wanted to see how long they were gonna be. So I'm in there waiting, crazy stuff's going on, like homeless guys in there trying to get some Tylenol, but they're not giving it to him.
He said the homeless guy like didn't want to go in and
he wanted the doctor. He wanted the doctor to come outside. Like it was just a weird situation. And then after he left, because then they were gonna take him in, and he didn't want to go in. So after he left, it opened up a quick spot for me. So they took me in. I sat in there for a while, checking on Tal every time, making sure that they didn't go in or whatever.
He's communicating with my sister because I'm not talking at this point.
So I'm just sitting there waiting, and then first the nurses come in and they're all like, oh, what is that? They're like, oh, it could be something crazy. You might have to get a CAT scan or something. And they're just making me like, oh,
freak out.
They're like, well, you might have to be here for a couple of hours. I was like, okay, if I have to be here for a couple of hours, I'm leaving.
Oh no.
So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be here for hours. And then they're just, I don't know, I was just getting kind of scared. And then the actual doctor comes in and she looks at it, she feels it a little bit, and then she's just like, oh, it looks like it's just a swollen gland, and then just take Tylenol, ibuprofen.
And it should swell down.
To like, what is this? Anti-inflammatory, I guess it's called.
So maybe the food is like what made it swell up.
Yeah, because it was like right on my jawline, so probably like every time I'm eating, it's just making it move around. So after I told her that, she was like, okay, so if you see anything different, anything worse, then just come back in, check it out. But as of right now, you should be okay. So
he rushes back to me.
Off my shoulder.
Be safe.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna die before I see my son.
You didn't know it was a son.
Or yeah, before I seen my new baby. And then I come back and I see Tal dying.
You walked through the door and you said, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm in pain. When he was in the emergency room, I was sitting in the car and I said, you know what? I need to go. This labor is picking up. Now it's like every 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Like, I need to go. I need the epidural. This hurts. They told me not to come in back until 4 unless you like really feel it coming. So I go in, I talk to the lady at the front desk, and I'm like, this is my second baby. I'm having contractions every 6 minutes. I need to go in. And she's like, okay, let's go. She opens the door for me. I sign some papers, and then I go into this room where they evaluate you. The nurses check you first, and then that's where Keikoa met me. So I was in this room that you get evaluated to make sure that you really kind of are progressing and you're not just like, I'm in labor, because that happens a lot where they send you home. The nurse checked me and she was like,
she couldn't get in there.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry, but I can't even feel your cervix. Like, I can't reach and I don't want to hurt you.
But she felt the head.
Yeah, she felt the head, but she couldn't see how dilated I was. But we knew that I was 3 at 11. So now it's like 3 o'clock, and she wanted to make sure that I was more than 3, because if I was still at 3, then she couldn't really like give me an epidural, because then it would prolong. Yeah, it would like slow the labor down. She said a lot of times epidural slows it down.
And it does.
It did, but it kind of didn't, because I still went from 0 to
100 real quick.
Yeah, like they say that it's a contraction is 1 centimeter an hour. Anywho, she couldn't find my cervix to see how dilated I was, so she's like, I'm gonna go get another nurse. So she gets another nurse, they come in, and I'm like still in pain, like I just want the epidural already. She comes in and I'm like, I have to go pee. Would that help? And she's like, yes, like if your bladder is full, it's gonna be impossible. And that's why the first nurse couldn't feel it. So I went pee, she checked in, she's like, you're at 5, time to go. you can get the epidural. You are progressing. You are in labor. You are right. These are some high contractions that they're seeing on the monitor. They get me out of that room and they get me into my labor and delivery room. Yay! I was so happy. From the time of being in the labor room to getting my epidural, you guys, was a whole nother hour. Like, I'm not kidding. It's such a slow process.
Hooking her up to IVs.
Speaking of IVs, I got one IV and it was hurting, and they need to get an IV just in case something goes wrong and they need to pull blood. They also need to give you saline, a whole bag of saline before, to hydrate you. It's like water.
Fluids.
So she gave me the IV and I'm like, this hurts so bad. I'm fighting contractions every 5 minutes. The other nurse saw that she did it wrong, so she took it out, put the IV on this side, and then is like having a lesson, like teaching my nurse how to put an IV in on me.
Oh, that's what she said. Yeah, she said, oh, someone's gonna watch.
That was number 2. I had 2 lessons done on me. I'm not kidding. She was a test subject. So she was teaching her how to do the IV because she saw how wrong she did it. So then I got the whole bag of saline in me. That took a whole hour, like, to get me hooked up, to get everything situated. They're setting up and getting ready for labor. They can see that it's happening quick.
Was that guy creepy?
Yeah, the epidural guy.
This fucking creepy ass epidural guy comes. He looks like he just escaped the mental hospital or something.
Oh my god. He was nice, but yeah, he was
weird.
He was a little
just like
too
real
friendly.
Slow, yeah. He's like, okay, we're gonna do this. He's too calm, it seemed like.
He's like, I don't like a lot of people watching me.
Yeah, I know. And then first the nurse tells us, oh, I don't think I want you guys to be sitting on the couch. I don't want you guys to see this. She's like, go stand up by the curtain. So then me, Tosh, and her mom, I don't know if they remember, but they probably do. We go and stand up over there, and we're all just cruising by town. And then the epidural guy is like, oh, I don't like when people are all standing around crowding me. I think you guys should go sit down. So we're like,
we just got told.
No, okay, I'm just gonna stay over here. And I'm pretty sure Tal's mom sat down, and then they're all worried, like, they're like, oh, are you okay? How come you're standing up over here? I was like, the nurse told me to stand up over
you're
here.
Like, what
so
the
I'm
heck?
just like, no, I'm fine.
And they're like having a debate of where everyone should stand, and I'm just like, I need this thing. An hour from being in that room, I finally got the epidural, you guys, and my pain had went away. My contractions now were like every 3 minutes. They were incredible. After they give you the epidural, they give you this thing called a catheter, and
that is part of the epidural.
It's so your body can pee.
Oh, you have 2 catheters. You had one in your back and then one in your...
They put this catheter in so that, because you're pretty much numb, so the catheter allows you to pee even when your body doesn't tell you that it needs to go pee. TMI. But that's what I had the lesson on. She brings a student in and was like, I'm gonna be teaching her how to put a catheter in. Is it okay if we...
She stands here and watches.
I'm just like, oh, I don't care. As long as I have this thing in my back, I'm good. It was actually crazy because one of the nurses was talking to the student that she was teaching how to put the catheter in. And she was like, look at her charts. Like, no.
Oh, there you say, look at her.
She was like, look at her charts, and it was my charts of my contractions. She was like, her body's doing this all on her own. Like, look at how intense her contractions are. Like, isn't this amazing? And I like felt so like happy when she said that, because I'm like, wow, like my body is really getting this going. And like, I could feel how crazy my contractions were. But then when she was telling her that, I had just got the epidural and it just had relieved me. So I was like, yeah, like my body is doing good and I'm not feeling a thing, and these contractions are off the chart. And then they started to die down and you could literally see the contractions getting smaller and smaller. My nurse came in and was like, oh no, what happened? Like, what's happening to the contractions? They're going down, which they know that's what epidural does. It does slow things down. But I was like, I don't care if they slow down or they stop. Like, I don't feel a thing, and that's all I care. I can sit here for the next 18 hours and be fine because I don't feel it. When before I was literally crying, I was done. Like, I was in so much pain. My doctor finally came in, and then that's when she said, oh my god, what happened? And then she checked me And I was at 7 when she had checked me, and she was like, wow, but you're still progressing. That's really good. I can feel the baby's head. She's like, I just need to pop this water.
Because there's a lot of water blocking, and they wanted like there to be the baby to drop down on his own.
If the baby drops down, then it pushes on that cervix. Remember what I was saying, how they strip my membrane? It pushes on that, and that's what allows it to open, and then you're at 10. And once you're at 10 centimeters, then it's time to push and the baby comes out. But
that's what a water
break. The baby couldn't push on it because there was so much water. So she was like, once we pop this water, we're really gonna get things going. Like, it will be ready quick. So do you want me to pop it or not? And I'm like, yes, like, of course.
So you stick a long stick. It's like this big.
With like a little hook, like a crochet hook, literally. And
like she was about to freaking knit a sweater up there.
But it was the craziest feeling. Like, it felt like something in my stomach just went, it was so cool. Because with Ayla, I don't remember a thing. I was like, whoa, like, what was that? Like, something in me, like a balloon in me popped. So then she said, now I'm gonna put like this big ball in between your legs, lay on your side, because one side was a little bit thicker, the membrane, than the other side. So when they checked to see how effaced you are, I was at 30 in the beginning of the day, remember that?
Yeah, 30.
I was at like
90.
She said one side was a little thicker, so she put a ball that opened my legs up like this, and then she had me twist on my side.
They have Tal in this position that's like this big bulging red ball right here that she has to put her legs over so that the cervix will get a little bit softer on the other side.
She comes back in some nick of time, like 30 to 40 minutes, and she checks me and was like, you're 10 centimeters, I can feel the baby's head, it is time to push.
So everyone's just suiting up.
And it was
Doctors,
just crazy.
Nurses.
Like, it
There's
just
like 5
happened.
nurses in there.
It happened so fast though.
Yeah.
Like, it was just time to go. We just had got in there, you guys, at 3:30, and it is now 6, and I'm at 10 centimeters, fully ready to go. She's like, you're ready to push.
Ready to go.
Wait, we just got this story wrong. I was laying down 40 minutes later, and I said, I need to push. And they were like, hold on, let me get the doctor. And then the doctor came in and was like, yes, you're at 10.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to push. Like, something is coming out of, like, I gotta poop. Like, I need to push. I was like, I'm starting to feel contractions again. And with the epidural, I wasn't feeling anything. And then out of nowhere, I started to feel them again. And I'm like, there's like a little epidural button. So we hit the epidural button, and we get more epidural because I'm like, they're starting to come back. And then I'm like, you guys, I gotta poop. Like, and she was like, wait, that's a good thing. That means the baby's coming. Let me go get the doctor. And then she ran to get the doctor.
I'm right next to her holding her leg. There's a doctor at the end of the place holding a mirror. There's another nurse. There's another nurse.
It was like a movie set in front of me. I had a mirror with a lady holding a mirror like a sign. I had my doctor in front of me. Then I had my mom, my sister, and Kate Cola. And then 2 nurses right here.
Right. So I had one leg. The other nurse had another leg. Tosh had the camera. Doctors
my
in the
brother
front.
was there too. My brother
had the
came
camera.
in.
Yeah.
And he just came to say hi, and then
He's
she
like,
was like, it's time to push, and my brother's like, I'm staying, I want to see this. And I'm like,
he didn't know what he was getting himself into.
I was like, shoots, you know, come on in.
It's beautiful, it's a beautiful experience.
If you want to learn, you're gonna learn today.
She starts pushing around maybe like 6 o'clock.
No, I would say like 6:15.
6:15.
I pushed 4 pushes, and out came our beautiful baby boy. This is another crazy part. I could see his head because I have this mirror, and then I did literally 4 pushes. I'm not kidding. With each contraction. So maybe 2 contractions and then a total of 2 pushes, 2 pushes. On like the 4th contraction, she's like, hey, grab your baby. And I'm like, grab baby, grab baby. And so I literally pulled my baby up, and I'm the one that put him on my chest and grabbed him out, which is so crazy to me. It was such an awesome, amazing experience. And what was so awesome about it is I was there, you guys. Like with Ayla, I had an oxygen mask. I was like in so much pain.
And he cried right away too, just like...
We couldn't get Ayla to cry. Yeah, like it was a really...
beautiful.
It was beautiful because I did it on my own. It was all natural. My body had did that. I'm not in pain anymore. It was just all in all a great experience. It was literally like a dream birth.
Too, so
yeah, it was a surprise. So
it was well worth the wait. More people should do that.
So you want to do that again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say what it was, and
I'm over there bawling my eyes out.
Kikoa's crying, I'm crying, I'm just looking at him crying because Kikoa thought he was only meant to have girls. And I'm like, watch, like, we're gonna have a boy. And it was such a dream birth. It was really a dream birth. It was more magical than I think we could have dreamed of. It was such a good experience. We were all there having a good time, except for like that 3 hours of me like in really bad pain. All in all, just such an amazing experience. That's all I gotta say about it. Like, we are so blessed, and they say by your 3rd baby it's just gonna fly right out of you. So,
and that one flew.
Labor is no joke, you guys. It is painful,
but it well
hurts.
Worth it.
It's
and
so
when you're
worth
a dad, you don't have to go through any of that pain.
Well, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we're gonna do more sit down little chit chats with you guys because that was super fun. If you guys have any questions about our story, then leave it in the comments below. We'd love to answer your guys' questions. So if you're not already, please subscribe, turn on that post notification button. It's like a little bell by the subscribe button, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you.
Goodbye, subscribers. Have a sun-kissed day.